Up until recently, the technology to fit S35VN into a small, generic Chinese knife for a little over $20 wasn't readily available. Now, I don't know if the trick was just renaming 8CR13 MOV and realizing if it was any bigger, no one would believe it, but however they did it, well, here it is in a whole line of tiny little knives with S35VN steel as the, blade from Fura. So let's look at the tiny little dimensions of your backup to your backup of a backup knife for your third cousin who never really asked for a knife, but because you're looking like a hoarder, you need to offload a bunch of knives with no resale value, like the overall length and weight, tallness, and closed size. The closed size is different than the handle size because of that tab. Tab. Blade size and cutting edge. Handle size, grip area. Spine thickness and handle thickness. Wonderful. Okay, so this little knife comes in many variations of blade and handle designs. So if you don't like this one, you might find one just so you can finally brag to no one that you finally have something in S35VN. This version has a cleaver or sheep's foot blade style with a cutting edge a hair under 2 inches. Meaning it would make a great package opener for your cheap knife habit. The blade has a stone-washed finish. It isn't locking. The blade is a one-handed opening. Kind of slow, unless you can do a little flip action like this, or a slower action, something like this. Now it does look like it has a thumb stud there. That is not a thumb stud, that's just a blade stop to keep it from going any further when it's closed. It shouldn't come open in your pocket because of the strong detent. You can't fling it open like this. And while it doesn't have a real locking mechanism, it does have that detent ball which keeps it from flopping loosely when open or coming open in your pocket for a pants accident. If you have a non-locking slip joint knife, it basically feels like an average one of those. Not too hard to open, not too easy. The handle is made from titanium, and this one is called, a copper color in the product description. When it, you might think it really looks like brass because you're a knife know-it-all. It's like a brass-ish color. It has some holes in the handle, and the handle is not very long. Now, it becomes serviceable if you put your hand near the blade where the tang is. The design is an open back, which, well, I don't know how much I like because I'm pretty sure I ding the blade with keys or something because there's some edge rolling now, and I really haven't used it a whole lot. I don't remember doing it, but, well, it happened. The pocket clip is decent and may be titanium too. I don't know, it looks like it is. It ain't a deep carry, but it has a good amount of tension and it isn't too hard or too easy to put in your pocket. Now, since I don't really do small knives like this, I don't really have another knife to compare it to that's a similar size, but I guess if you put it next to the Leatherman Micra, like this, they're sort of the same size. This one's a little bit bigger. But let's look at some knives, like the Kershaw Fraction, which actually weighs a little more and is about $30. That would make a good backup knife. Just saying. It's a little bigger than this too. Let's move on and do the HX Outdoors ZD005, which is actually a pretty nice knife. It's a little over 2.5 ounces. It's tiny and convertible to a two-handed opening if you're lawmakers or dicks. And how about a knife I prefer, the 941. This is a good reasonable size for an everyday carry. All of these are good lightweight knives that vary in blade size, so, choose wisely. This knife is okay, and I was sort of interested in it, as in like, that looks interesting. Like, not enough interesting that I would want to buy it, but, GearBest, I think, read my mind, and they were like, hey, should I send you this for your review? And I was like, I don't know, why not? I like it about the same as when I didn't hold it in my hand, too. It's also pretty well constructed. Think Sanrenmu or Gonzo. It was also fairly easy to sharpen on my sharp maker because, as you saw earlier, it was having trouble with the cardboard. Mostly because it was an okay sharp out of the box and not super sharp. I can't say for certain if it's S35VN because I don't do tests like awesome fellow knife channel Cedric and Ada does, but I'll link one of his cheap steel tests at the end of the video so you can see what's up. It's a small, occasional use knife, perfect for those settings when whipping out a large scary knife with big teeth isn't socially acceptable, you know, like at an office Christmas party, when you need to cut the crust off the bread of a stale catered sandwich. It's a good knife to keep clipped into a jacket you rarely use and go, oh yeah, hey, I bought this knife, you know, when you wear it once or twice a year. Okay, if you think these hypothetical scenarios are a little boring and you find this review slightly less boring, subscribe to my channel. Okay, so I had to do a re-edit here. I only became aware of it after I uploaded the video, but this is basically a ripoff of the Serge Panchenko Peanut Knife. Now, I've tried this year to try and not review blades that rip off every single design cue down to the logo, but sometimes they slip past me. Not because I judge people who do, but because I don't like to argue about it, and if a knife looks exactly like another knife, well, that's kind of like a fake and it's not cool. Sorry, I'm not aware of every single knife ever made before I agree to review a box of stuff. Oops. Buy that one instead, hate me, unsubscribe, or let it slide this one other time and give the video a thumbs up, comment, whatever. GearBest provided this for review.